भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपादमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुर्दिनतारिणं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं परमानन्दमाधवं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्द राधाकान्द नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनाथनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। जय श्री शोभनिषद की जय। जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरु महाराज की जय। हरि ओम तत्सत। हरे कृष्ण। So before we start mantra 11, can you please recollect something from the previous session?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, 18 items for cultivating knowledge from Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. So do you remember any one of them?
Yes, pranipatena, we should be humble.
We should be humble. Okay. So humility in practice. How do we actually practice humility?
By respecting every devotee.
Yes, not only devotee, by respecting everyone.
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 In a genuine way.
Yeah, so that is how we practically practice humility. Okay. Anything else?
Simplicity. We should be transparent and not simplicity.
Okay. So simplicity doesn't mean our lifestyle alone, but also means we are not duplicitous. We are very transparent. Do you remember any example that we gave from the scriptures?
Heart of a sadhu.
So this example was given by whom?
Valmiki Prabhu.
Valmiki, yes. So you are saying that the river Tamasa, the waters of river Tamasa was very transparent and it is like the heart of a sadhu. Okay. Any other points? Anyone?
Dukkha doshanam darshanam.
Dukkha doshanu darshanam. Dukkha doshanu darshanam means what?
We should always see dukkha.
We should always see dukkha and the dosha. Dosha means?
Fault in us.
False. Where you should see that?
In us.
In us.
In us or?
No, in us only. In us only.
No, you should see dukkha and dosha in the material world.
Material.
Yeah. Dukkha doshanu darshan. So that we become detached from this material world. Right. So today let's start with the mantra 11. So let's go to mantra 11. Vidyam cha yastat vedobhayam saha Avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyayamritam ashnute. Translation. Only one who can learn the process of nescience and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality. So this mantra is saying you should not only learn the process of transcendental knowledge, but you should also learn the process of nescience. Nescience means avidya. So we can understand why we should learn Vidya. Why Vidya is important, we know, because it is transcendental knowledge. But why this mantra is asking us to learn the process of avidya also? Why we should know about avidya also? Why? What do you think?
So that we should be careful, like not to.
Yes. One thing is so that we can be careful, so that we don't get into ignorance. Isn't it? That is why any uh, any part of learning, suppose you are going for learning driving, they will not only teach you do's, they will also teach you don'ts. What you should do is important. Equally important is what you should not do. So similarly, what is avidya, that also you should do, you should know. Especially about avidya, you must learn two important things. That is, avidya is related to this material world. So, about this material world, we should know two important things. One is this material world is dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. So, that is a very important knowledge we should have about this material world. Why it is important to have this knowledge? Otherwise, we'll continuously feel attached to this material world. We would try to settle in this material world. We will try to find pleasure in this material world. So, in order to prevent us from doing all those stupid things, it is very important that we know this world is dukkhalayam and ashashvat. See, for example, Srila Prabhupada is giving the example of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu constantly tried to make this world sukhalayam and shashvatam. He was very powerful. When the demigods were under him. But even then, he failed to make this world Sukhalayam and Shashvatam because he himself died. So we cannot change the nature of this material world. Many a times, so-called philanthropists, humanitarians, and even politicians, they come and promise such things. We'll make this world into heaven. See, in our own country, or you take any country, so many governments have come and gone. So many parties have ruled. So many leaders have come and gone. But we are still in misery only. Nothing is changing. Only some superficial cosmetic changes here and there. Otherwise, this material world was a dukkhalayam in the past, is a dukkhalayam in the present, and will be a dukkhalayam in the future. So don't try to change the nature of the world. So Srila Prabhupada always said, instead of trying to change the nature of the world, you try to go back home to Godhead, where you will find real pleasure, where everything is Shashvatam. So the first thing that we have to learn about this material world is Dukkhalayam and Shashvatam. Then the second thing is you should also learn about your body and mind. It is very important to learn about your body and mind. Why is it important to learn about your body and mind? Why?
Otherwise, we get attached to our body and will be permanently, we wish to be here.
Okay, we should understand about our body, especially the non-permanent nature of the body, so that we will not be attached. Not only that, all said and done, we have to live with this body and mind. So we have to understand the nature of the body and mind so that we can use our body and mind in the service of Guru and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada always used to say, make the best use of a bad bargain. Anyway, we made a big mistake by coming to this material world, by accepting a material body and mind. Anyway, that's all done. Now what we can do, we make use of the body and mind, make the best use of the bad bargain. So it is very important to know about our body, to know about our mind, so that we can nicely use them in Krishna Seva. So how do we do that? So the Vedas are recommending a gradual process through the process of Purushartha. Do you know what are the Purusharthas?
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Dharma, Artha, Kama. So it's a gradual process. So the Vedas are suggesting you do your dharma as per your varna and ashrama. Then you earn money. Then using the money earned in a righteous way, you satisfy your kama, your desires again in a dharmic way. And finally you become detached and aspire for moksham or go back to moksha. So this is Purushartha. So this is recommended by the Vedas. So we should also learn about our body and mind. Now, by learning avidya, you can finally reach vidya. When you properly learn about avidya, finally you reach vidya, which is beautifully stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.14. Can we go to that shloka 1.2.14? Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. Tasmat ekena manasa Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi Shotavya Kirtidavyascha Dhyaya Pujascha Nityadha. So what is the translation? Therefore, with the one-pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. So this is the ultimate essence of Vidya. If we know this, then we have understood what Vidya is. So with the one-pointed attention, you should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship Krishna. Why you should worship Krishna? Why you should glorify Krishna? Why you should remember Krishna? Why you should hear about Krishna? Why?
Worship Krishna.
Why we should do all these things? Worship, glorify, remember, hear
To
about.
have that one-pointed attention and
No, we do everything with one-pointed attention. Why we should do all these things with one-pointed attention? The translation it is given.
Protector,
Protector
maintainer.
of devotees.
Because he is the protector of the devotees, isn't it? He is the protector of the devotees. Only he can protect us. We don't have any other solace. We don't have any other place to go. Wherever you go, ultimately you have to go to Krishna only. No, that is what one famous pastime teaches us. One rishi went to so many people, but then everyone forsook him. Finally, he went to Vishnu, and even Vishnu did not give him solace. He sent him back to another form of Vishnu, or a person who is even worshipable by Vishnu. So, which is that pastime?
Durvasa Muni Ambrish Maharaj.
Durvasa Muni and Ambarish. So, only the Lord is the protector of the devotees. The Lord is so much worried about the protection of the devotees that in this particular case, Ambarish Maharaj, the Lord has given his very own Sudarshana Chakra for the protection of Ambarish Maharaj. Why the Lord has given Sudarshan Chakra to Ambarish Maharaj? Why? He could have protected, no? Why he gave Sudarshan Chakra to Ambarish Maharaj?
It is faster than the Lord.
Yeah, Sudarshan Chakra is faster than the Lord. So the Lord is so much concerned that by the time I go get my Sudarshana Chakra and come down and protect, it would be too late. I don't want my devotee to suffer even for 1 second. So he permanently gave Sudarshana Chakra to Ambarish Maharaj and asked him, you protect him, my devotee. You don't even have to ask my permission. If any danger comes, you immediately protect. Okay. So we are also devotees, not so exalted like Ambarish Maharaj. So do we have any Sudarshana Chakra with us for our protection? At home, do we have Sudarshana Chakra?
Yeah,
Yes, Prabhu, we have
Mahamantra.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna
Mahamantra.
mantra.
The holy names.
Yeah. In Kali Yuga, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is our Sudarshana Chakra. Anytime you can invoke that Sudarshana Chakra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare
Chakra
Hare.
is right there in front of you to protect you anytime, day, night, anytime he is ever ready to serve you to protect. So that is because of the mercy of the Lord, because he is the only protector of devotees. So when we understand this, then we have understood real Vidya. Okay. So now we'll proceed to mantras 12, 13, and 14. They all talk about a common subject, that is Sambhuti and Asambhuti. So before we go into these shlokas, do you have any doubts on this particular mantra, mantra 11, or else we'll go to mantra 2. Okay, so now let's go to mantra 12. Andham thamap pravishanti ye sambhudhim upasate tato bhuya ivate tamo ya yu sambhudhyam ratha. Translation: those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of our ignorance, and still more so do the worshippers of the impersonal absolute. So this mantra talks about two concepts. One is Sambhuti and another is Asambhuti. So in this particular mantra, Sambhuti means Krishna. Why Krishna is known as Sambhuti? Because he is independent, Sarva Swatantra. He is not dependent upon anybody or anything. So only Krishna is Sarva Swatantra, independent. So he is called Sambhuti. And in this mantra, Asambhuti means those people who do not have an independent existence. So here specifically the reference is towards the demigods. The demigods, even though externally look like they are independent, they are actually not independent. So then you may ask, the demigods also have so many powers. They also give boons to their devotees. So how can we say that the demigods are not independent? Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is specifically saying that. If you go to shloka number 10.2, can you go to Bhagavad Gita shloka number 10.2? Okay. Name vidus suragana prabhavam namaharshaya aham adirhi devanam Maharshinam cha sarvasha. So what is the translation? Neither the demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. So this is a very important shloka, especially for preaching, because many a times people come and ask, why do you say Krishna is supreme? So you have to be very careful when you use this shloka for preaching. You should not get into a debate, or you should not hurt the sentiments of other demigod worshippers. But if a sincere person wants to know why we should not worship demigods, we should worship only Krishna, because Krishna is saying the demigods, the great sages, all their opulences, they are actually coming from me. Not only their opulences, they themselves are coming from me. I am the source of Devanam Maharshinam. So why Maharshis are also mentioned in this shloka? Why not only Devatas? Why? Huh? Why Krishna is talking about the sages here?
Sages also have some power.
Babi, love it. Sages have
Yeah,
some power.
the sages also give lot of boons. So that if you read the Puranas or scriptures, there are many instances where the sages give lot of boons to others. So that is why they are also included. So don't think that the sages or the demigods, they are independent. They can give boons on their own. No, they cannot. Actually, all their powers, they come from me. Especially in Kali Yuga, this shloka is very important because in Kali Yuga, so many people worship human beings as God. Maybe they also worship some sages as God. No? So actually, it is wrong. We have to always understand that any power that is executed by any demigod or sage or any great personality, everything is coming from the Lord. So if we want something, what we should do? We should directly worship Krishna. Why do you want to go indirectly? And Krishna is there to directly give you any boons. It is always an intelligent approach to go and ask Krishna directly. So we should also understand that Krishna is independent of anything and everything. So that is the main concept of the shloka. Sambhudi. Krishna is highly independent. Like in Lalita Sahasranama, there are three namas used for the Devi. One nama is Lokatita. Lokatita means Devi or the Shakti of the Lord is beyond the three worlds of physical, mental, and spiritual planes. Loka Atita. Atita means beyond. Loka means world. So there are three worlds of existence. One is physical world, another is mental world, and third one is a spiritual world. So did you understand these three worlds? Are we existing in these three worlds? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
We are existing in the physical world. That is, we are connected to the body. So in that sense, we have an existence in the physical world. And we are also having a mind. So in that sense, we are also existing in what world?
Mental.
Mental.
Mental world. And we ourselves are spirit souls. So in that sense, we are also existing in a spiritual plane. Right? So Krishna or Krishna's Shakti is beyond all these three worlds. Krishna is beyond physical world, beyond mental world, and beyond the spiritual world also. So why do we say Krishna is beyond the spiritual plane of existence also? Why?
Even spiritual also emanates from him only.
Yeah, because the spiritual planets, the Jivatmas, they all emanate from Krishna. So in that sense, he is also beyond these three worlds. Also, the Acharyas say here Lokatita could also mean beyond the three bhuvanas. Like if you take the 14 planetary systems, they can be divided into three: Bhuloka, Adholoka, then Uparilokas. Isn't it? The lower planetary systems, earthly planetary system, and the higher planetary system. And Krishna is also beyond these three planetary systems. He is beyond the Tribhuvanas. Okay. That's why if you go to Orissa, there is a very famous temple of Lord Shiva. Lot of Shivalingas are there. You know which is the temple? Very big temple.
Lingaraja temple?
Lingaraj Mandir. And Lingaraj Mandir is situated in which place? What is the name of that place? Bhubaneswar. Right. Bhubaneswar. So why that place got that name? Bhubaneswar. Bhuvana. In Oriya, Bhuvana means the three worlds. Loka. Bhuvana means Loka. So Shiva there is worshipped as Lokeshwar. Loka means what world? The material world. He is the Ishvara of the material world. But Krishna is Lokatita. He is beyond the material world. Because even Lord Shiva is under the control of Krishna. So he is known as Lokatita. And another nama in Vishnu's in Lalita Sahasra Nama is Gunatita. The Shakti of the Lord is beyond the gunas. Beyond the gunas means what?
It does not come under three gunas.
Three gunas. Three gunas. So Krishna Shakti is beyond Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo. And the third nama is Sarvatita. Krishna Shakti is beyond everything. Sarva means everything. So when we say everything, mainly we talk about three things. One is time, second one is space, and third one is causality. Time we know. For any object to exist, it needs a time frame to exist. And time heavily influences everything. And space, similarly, anything needs a space to exist. And third one is causality. Do you know what is the meaning of causality? Causality means everything has a cause. Everything has got a karana. But Krishna is beyond time, space, and causality. That means time cannot control him. That is why Krishna is always youthful. Nava Navam. Radharani every day meditates on the Lord, on Shyamasundara. Every day she eagerly waits to meet Krishna. And as soon as she meets Krishna, she gazes at Krishna in such a way that she is seeing Krishna for the first time. But only yesterday she saw Krishna. But again today, when she is seeing Krishna, she is looking at him as if she is a totally new person and she is seeing him for the first time. Why she is having that kind of bhava when she sees Krishna?
Every day Krishna is fresh.
Beyond time.
Every day Krishna's beauty is expanding. Yesterday, the beauty that she saw that she enjoyed yesterday, it has changed now. Now Krishna is looking more handsome. So every day the beauty of Krishna is increasing. Nava Navam. So she is never tired of meditating on the beautiful form of the Lord. So this should be the mood of the devotees also. We should not feel that also the same Narsimha Dev is there. No. Look every day the same Narsimha Dev. The same Gandharviga Giridhari. The same Gauranga Mahaprabhu. They are not the same. If you have devotion in heart, every time you take darshan, they look like a totally different person. You will feel that their beauty has increased. Last Sunday I took darshan, but this Sunday they are looking more beautiful. This Sunday they are looking more effulgent. It is not because the pujari had decorated them with new ornaments or new clothes. No, their very nature is like that. So devotees are never tired of having darshan of the Lord. Every day, it's so fresh, so new. In Ramayana, it is mentioned in Kamba Ramayana that every day Lord Rama, he comes out onto the streets of Ayodhya and people flock on the two sides of the road to have the vision of the Lord, darshan of the Lord. And it is mentioned that not even one person has completely seen the entire form of the Lord. In Ayodhya, they're having darshan of the Lord every day. Every day the Lord Rama comes out. But even then, not even one Ayodhyavasi has completely had the complete darshan of the Lord. Why? Why it is mentioned like that?
They are mesmerized seeing at his face, and maybe they have not looked into him totally.
Beauty,
Something
Ah,
I'm just guessing, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
his beauty is
well,
expanding, Prabhu, like that.
huh?
His beauty is expanding. It handsome is so much so that just like watching every day, it will be new for the devotees.
That is, an Alvar is describing this situation. He is saying, Tol kandar, tole kandar, Val kandar, vale kandar, Padam kandar, sevadi seedar. So, if someone's eyes, they are fixed at the tol means shoulder of Lord Rama, it gets riveted there. Tol kandar, tole kandar. They are not able to take away their gaze from the beautiful shoulders of the Lord. It's so beautiful, so enchanting. They don't feel like, taking their eyesight to the face of the Lord. And somebody's gaze first fell at the lotus feet means they continuously look at the lotus feet. And then they immediately go and offer flowers to the lotus feet. They offer their pranams to the lotus feet. They cannot take away their eyes from the lotus feet. So like this, every anga of the Lord is so attractive. There are two concepts in Sanskrit. One is Saundarya and another is Lavanya. Have you heard about these two words, Saundarya and Lavanya? What is the meaning of Saundarya?
Beauty, Prabhu.
Beauty. Lavanya?
The structure.
Lavanya is also beauty only.
Beauty.
But the difference is, Saundarya means it is related to one particular organ of the body. So when we say the nose is so beautiful, then it is Saundarya of Nasika. When we say the eyes are so beautiful, then Saundarya of the Netra. But there is another beauty, like the beauty of the entire body. For instance, some people, when you look look at them from a long view, the entire body is like beautiful. But when you analyze each and every organ, then they are not so beautiful. But for some people, a particular organ is beautiful. The eyes are so beautiful. The eyebrows are so beautiful. But overall, they are not so beautiful. Do you understand what I'm saying? One is overall beauty, another is beauty of each and every individual organ of the body. Did you understand that?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Yeah. So, in the Lord, in the case of Lord, his every single organ is beautiful, as well as his entire body, overall structure of the body is also very attractive. So he has got both Saundarya as well as Lavanya. So, anyway, why did I tell you this?
Lord Rama's
Nobody.
Ayodhya people, when I
Devotees
was
are
complete form
Radharani
of
was
Rama.
feeling Krishna every day attractive. Every day
Ah,
she was finding new.
yes. So Radharani looks at Lord Krishna as if a new person. Because every day the Saundarya is increasing. So the Lord is considered as a Sarvatita, means he is beyond time, place, and causality. He doesn't have any cause. Everything comes from him. Hmm? So these are all the wonderful qualities of the Lord, and that is why the Lord is the Lord has got this. The Lord is mentioned here as Samhudi. He is beyond everything. He is supremely independent. So now, when we
Prabhu, one
do,
second, Prabhu.
yeah,
Causality means the Karana, right, Prabhu? That one you
Karna,
told.
he doesn't have any cause.
Okay,
He is
reason. Okay,
Karma
okay.
Karana Karana.
Right, Prabhu.
But,
Thank you.
but everyone else, everything else has got a cause. Now, when we do Devata worship, what is the objective of Devata worship? Normally, why do people worship demigods? You have any idea?
Material.
material benefit.
For material
Yeah,
Material
benefits.
material.
That is mainly for sense enjoyment, isn't it? They
Yes.
worship the demigods to get something so that they can enjoy their senses. It is for sense gratification. So when we do Devata worship, you get only sense gratification. But then when you do worship of Krishna, you not only get the material opulences, you also get Atmananda or Atma Nirvriti. When you worship the devatas, you only get Indriya Tripti, Indriya Tushti. But in the case of the worship of the Lord, you are not only provided with the material opulences, you also become internally happy and blissful. You experience Atma Tushti, Atmananda. And when you worship the demigods, you get temporary relief from your material miseries. Suppose you have a disease, you go to a demigod and worship and you get relief. But that is temporary. Again, you will get another disease. Again, this body will give you some other kind of pain. But when you worship the Supreme Lord, He will permanently take you from the cycle of birth and death. The demigods cannot do that. They can only give temporary relief. So that is why Krishna is known as Mukunda. What is the meaning of Mukunda?
who gives liberation.
One who gives
Ah,
liberation.
Mukti Pradata iti Mukundaha. Mukunda is that person who gives mukti. No one else can give mukti. They can give you some material benefits. And again, when you do Devada worship, you are again and again bound to this material world. But when you do the Krishna worship, you go beyond this material world and you go back to God. So, in whatever way you look at it, worship of Lord Krishna is always the topmost service or topmost activity to do. Rest, any other kind of demigod worship is only giving you temporary benefits. Okay. Now, in this mantra, Srila Prabhupada is also talking about the qualities of pseudo-religionists. The purport is talking about the qualities of pseudo-religionists. What do you mean by pseudo-religionists?
They claim that
False.
False
False.
religions.
Yeah, they externally present themselves as religionists, but actually they are not real religionists. So Srila Prabhupada has given some 6 features or 6 qualities of pseudo-religionists. The first quality is they seek fame under the garb of worshipping God. They will externally do lot of worship. They may even worship Krishna, Vishnu, but their ultimate aim is to seek fame. They want to present themselves as great devotees. Actually, they are not devotees. Then the second quality is they don't want to go back to the spiritual world. They want to enjoy this material. The third quality is they don't have real jnana or vairagya. Their knowledge is not real. It is bookish knowledge. They have not realized whatever they have learned from the scriptures, and they are not detached from this material world. And the fourth quality Srila Prabhupada is saying is they live in the golden shackles of material bondage under the shadow of philanthropic acts disguised as dharma. They do a lot of philanthropic activities, lot of humanitarian activities, and they live in the golden shackles. Why Srila Prabhupada is saying golden shackles?
they are materially attached to.
Huh?
They are materially
They're bound anyways, bro.
Tied up
They
anyway.
tied up with the material entanglement, but
Yeah, they may do a lot of humanitarian activities, philanthropic activities, and they may get a lot of punya also. But even then, they are still bound to this material world. The binding is still there. Whether it is bound by papa or punya, the binding is still there. If you do lot of papa karma and you are stuck in this material world, then it is iron shackles. If you do a lot of punya karma and get stuck into this material world, then it is what shackles?
golden shackle.
Golden
Golden
shackles.
shackles.
At the end of the day, you are shackled, you know. Yeah, like in olden days in Kerala and all, I have seen when there is a lunatic person in the family, they tie that person using a chain. In front of in the veranda, in the pillar, they would tie him. You know, so he cannot be proud saying that I am a very rich lunatic, I am a rich madman. See, I am tied using a golden chain. That guy, the other guy in the next house, he is tied using an iron chain. I am better. No, both of you are mad. You know, both of you are tied. Whether it is golden shackle or iron shackle, it is the same. So the acharyas are not at all attracted by all these punya karmas because they know it is still binding to this material. So they always they neither do sakarma or they do dushkarma. They always do what type of karma?
Akarma.
Akarma. Akarma means that karma which will not give you either papa or punya. That means it is devotional service. Isn't it? And the fifth quality Srila Prabhupada is saying is they present a show of bhakti while indulging in all sorts of immoral activities. Externally, they present themselves as great devotees. They dress like devotees. They'll have nice tilak, kandimala, dhoti, kurta, everything they may have. But then internally, secretly, they may be involved in a lot of immoral activities. Like when Gaurakishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he attained Samadhi. Lot of so-called Babajis, Goswamis who are living in that area, they all gathered together and they all demanded that we need Babaji's body. We'll take the body to our place and establish a befitting samadhi. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came and said, no, you people are not qualified to even touch the body of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. So there was a big fight between these people. On one side, they were this caste Goswamis and so-called Babajis, and on the other side, we had Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Now, why these so-called Babajis and caste Goswamis, they were demanding the body of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj? Is it because they were so much respectful to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj? They want to honor his body. Why do you think they were trying to get the body of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj?
They want to do business.
Showing off.
The
Prabhu.
others,
Showing off. Yeah.
Putting a
The
show.
They
the
want
first quality you mentioned, no, Prabhu.
What?
Seek fame under the garb of
Not only fame, as somebody said, they wanted to do business.
business.
Because Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was a respectable person. Everyone knew that he is a pure devotee. So, if they are successful in getting his body, and if they can establish a samadhi in their ashrama, then they will get lot of visitors. When there are a lot of visitors, they will get lot of donations. So actually, they wanted to make money using the body or samadhi of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. That's why they were demanding, not out of devotion for Babaji Maharaj. So anyway, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur became very angry. And finally, he said, you are not qualified to touch his body. And then he said, if any one of you, you so-called Babajis and Goswamis, if any one of you, within the time period of last 1 year, okay, not even 1 year, last 6 months, okay, not even 6 months, last 1 month, okay, not even last 1 month, at least within the last 3 days, if any one of you had not had any illicit contact with a woman, you can come and touch the body and take the body with you. If you are not qualified in the way that I have mentioned, and even then, if you touch his body, your whole life will be ruined. Now you come forward. And then there is a pin drop silence. And slowly everyone left. And only Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was there. So this is the plight of people, who present a show of bhakti. Internally, they are involved in all sorts of illicit activities. And the sixth quality Srila Prabhupada is saying is, they have no respect for previous acharyas. So why Srila Prabhupada is detailing all these qualities of pseudo-religionists? Why?
Avidya, we should know.
We need to be careful.
One is avidya. They are examples of people who are affected by avidya. And another reason?
We need to be careful that
We
selecting.
should know that these people are like these people are there.
Yes, especially in Kali Yuga, we'll see so many people like this. So we should not get cheated. So Prabhupada is warning us, and also Prabhupada is saying these pseudo-religionists are the most dangerous elements of human society. So he's using the superlative degree. He's saying they are the most dangerous elements of the human society. So we may think, well, there are so many murderers, there are so many dacoits, there are so many terrorists. So when they are present, how can we say that these people are the most dangerous elements of the human society? Why? Srila Prabhupada is using a superlative form here. Why?
Because they are using the religion. Religion as a tool for their business,
Misguiding the
their
people.
motivation or their.
See, they are
Being
Yeah.
mentors, they are trying to mislead the people and take them in a wrong direction instead of addressing in right way.
Yeah, see, when we say wrong direction, they're actually taking people away from Krishna. And Krishna is the only solace. And these people are cheating the common men from even Krishna, their only solace. And that too in the name of religion. People always come and take shelter of religion when they have problems. But using that very religion, they're taking people away from Krishna. That is the greatest crime that you can do. There is a greatest, misdeed that can be done by any person. So Srila Prabhupada is saying they're the most dangerous elements in the society. Even if they take you away from your money, from your property, from your near and dear ones, it's all okay. Because anyway, they are all temporary. Even if you lose some money, you can still earn money later on. But if they take you away from Krishna, then where will you go? So you have to be very careful of this pseudo religions. So now we'll go to mantra 13. Again, mantra 13 is connected with the Sambhudi. Mantra 13 is talking about results of Sambhudi and Asambhudi, or in other words, the results of worshipping the Supreme and not worshipping the Supreme. Anyadyevahu sambhavad, anyadahu rasambhavad, idi sushruma dhiranam enastat vichachakshire. So translation, it is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes, and that another result is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. All this is heard from the undisturbed authorities who clearly explained it. So now we should first see what is Sambhuda. In this context, Srila Prabhupada is saying Sambhuda is the Supreme Lord who is the source of birth and sustenance, as well as he who remains after annihilation. So this explanation of Sambhuda or Supreme. So what is the explanation Srila Prabhupada is giving? Sambhuda is the Supreme Lord and who is the source of birth or creation and sustenance, as well as he who remains after annihilation. So in other words, he is the cause of Srishti, Sthiti and Laya, and he remains even after annihilation. So this definition is taken from which shloka? Do you know? He is the cause of Janma, everything. A very popular shloka. Do you know which shloka?
From Brahma Samhita.
Janmadhyasya yada. The very first shloka of which book?
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
First sloka in Srimad.
First shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. From there, Srila Prabhupada is borrowing this definition. So, whatever remains after everything is annihilated is supreme. So, it is a very interesting definition of the Supreme Lord. For example, in Mayapur, every year there is one particular day which is earmarked for Asti Nimajjana or immersion of ashes of the departed Vaishnavas. Have you heard about that?
No, Prabhu.
Yes,
No?
Prabhuji.
Yeah, you should be aware of that. In Mayapur, once in a year, they do Asti Nimajjana. So if you have any devotees in your family members, and if you want to do Asti Nimajjana, immerse their ashes in Ganga, you can take that ashes to Mayapur, and on that day, they will chant all the mantras, they will perform all the rituals, and finally, their ashes will be immersed in the Ganges. So, anyway, the particular process is known as Asti Nimajjana. Now, what is the meaning of the word Asti? Is this word prevalent in Kannada? I'm not sure. In Kannada also,
In
do you
all
have this
language,
word?
same Prabhu. Asti. Asti
Same,
Galu.
Asti.
Ashes.
Huh?
Ashes.
Yeah.
Asti,
So
Asti only.
what do you call this ritual in Kannada? Asti Nimajjana? Same?
Yes, Prabhu. Asti
Yes,
Visarjana.
Prabhu.
Asti
Almost
Asti
in all
Visarjana.
languages.
Vicharjan.
Asti
Yes,
Visarjana.
in
Okay.
Hindi
Anyway, the
also.
word Asti is common, right?
Yes, true.
Yeah. So what exactly is Asti? We think it is the bonds. Normally we collect the bonds after the body is created. But
Yes.
is born, is it the meaning? Asti means born.
No.
The
All the
burnt
remaining.
ashes and bones
Ashes of
or
the
The
whatever is
remaining.
left out, remainings after burning.
Asti actually means whatever remains after everything disappears. So many years this body was there. The body had so many important organs. It had a brain, it had a heart, a liver, so many important organs. But then when it got burned, only something remained. So whatever remains after cremation is done is known as asti. So asti technically means whatever finally remains. So there is a word for theist and atheist in Sanskrit. Do you know what is that word?
Astik and Nastik, Prabhu.
Astik and Nastik. And this Astik and Nastik, it's actually coming from the word Asti. Why?
Because Astik remains and Nastik will not.
Astika.
Huh?
Astiks will
Ah,
remain.
no.
We are not able to.
Astikas believe in Asti. Nastikas don't believe in Asti. So here Asti doesn't mean ashes. Here Asti means whatever remains after annihilation. Janmadhyasya. So only Krishna will remain after entire annihilation is done. So Astika is that person who believes in Krishna, or another name of Krishna is Asti. He will always remain. And Nastika is that person who doesn't believe in Krishna or Asti. So that is why that is how the words Astika and Nastika came about. So anyway, this definition is very interesting. So Srila Prabhupada is saying whatever remains after everything is destroyed, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And another thing that is mentioned in this translation is all paths do not lead to the same goal. That is a very important thing that we have to understand from this mantra. This is a this is a very popular proclamation by many religionists. Now, whatever you worship, finally it is all same. You know, they say that yadha keshavam pradi gacchati, sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pradi gacchati. Whatever devas you worship, finally you get the benefit of worshipping Keshava. So you can worship any demigod. It is equivalent to worshipping Keshava. Is that true?
No.
No, Prabhu.
No.
It cannot be true. And they give an example. Akashat patitam toyam yadha gacchati sagaram. All the water, which is dropped from the sky in the form of rain, will finally go to Sagaram, will finally reach Sagaram. Similarly, any kind of worship is like worshipping Keshava. No, it is not true. They are different. It is very clearly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita in Shloka 9.25. Can we have a look at that Shloka? Yes. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrnyanti pitrvrata bhutani yandi bhutechya yandi madhya jinopyamam. So what is the translation? Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. So how many paths are explained by Krishna in this shloka? How many paths?
4 paths.
Four paths.
4
Isn't it?
paths.
4 paths. The first path is towards the demigods. If you worship demigod, you will reach them. The second path is if you worship the Pitru Devatas. If you worship the Pitru Devatas, you will go to the Pitru Loka. Then if you worship ghosts and spirits, you will go to that Loka. And if you worship Krishna, you will go to Goloka. So that is very clearly stated by Krishna himself that all kinds of worship do not yield the same result. And Srila Prabhupada is giving an example here. He is saying, if you purchase a ticket to Kolkata, you can only go to Kolkata. You cannot go to Mumbai. As simple as that. And then Krishna is also addressed here in this context as Sambhavat. Sambhavat means the supreme cause. So in Narayana Upanishad, it is mentioned that in the beginning, Narayana existed. When nothing else existed, Narayana existed. And he created the Brahma. He created the Prajapatis. He created Indra. He created the Ashtavasus. He created the Ekadasha Rudras. He created the Dwadasha Adityas. So everything was created from him. In the beginning, only Narayana existed. So that means we cannot say that Narayana is equal to any other demigod because they were all created from Narayana. So that is why he is known as Sambhavat. That means the supreme cause of everything. Now, how do we perfect this Sambhavat? That is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. He is giving a 8-step process. How to realize Krishna, path of perfection. What is path of perfection?
Perfect way.
It is a very famous title of Srila Prabhupada's book.
Yes, Prabhu.
Haven't you heard about this book?
Yes, Prabhu, we have heard.
Yeah, path of perfection, isn't it? Path of perfection. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada is giving 8 steps towards perfection. He's saying the first step is hearing about Krishna. Shravanam. So that is why in Navavidha Bhakti, what comes first? Kirtanam? Shravanam. Yeah,
Shravanam,
Shravanam. Shravanam comes first. So when you hear about Krishna, Prabhupada is saying, it draws his attention. Something very esoteric Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. He's saying that as soon as you show interest to hear about Krishna, Krishna's attention comes to you. Why Krishna's attention comes to you? Why?
We are hearing about
Sir, we are hearing about.
Reciprocating.
Huh?
We are part and parcel of Krishna.
Because it is very rare. It is not that everyone wants to hear about Krishna. Only very few people try to hear about Krishna. So when you do that, immediately Krishna's attention is on you. Krishna makes a note of you. Oh, this person is interested in me. That is why he is hearing about me. Then in the second step, Krishna gives directions and cleanses the heart of passion and ignorance. So Krishna does a cleaning work for us. He removes 2 things from our heart. What is that? Passion and ignorance. What is passion? Passion means hankering for materialistic things. And ignorance means no knowledge about the spiritual world, no knowledge about Atma, Paramatma. So if you have ignorance, you will not have spiritual knowledge. If you have passion, you will always hanker for materialistic things. So Krishna will clean your heart. When Rajas and Tamas is taken away from your heart, then what will remain in your heart?
Tattva.
Sattva.
Sattva guna.
So in the third step, Krishna will help you to attain Sattva. And in the fourth step, you will become happy and enthusiastic to perform bhakti. So that is why it is very important to stay in Sattvaguna. If you are not staying in Sattvaguna, you will not feel like performing bhakti. So this is the fourth step. And in the fifth step, when you perform bhakti, then knowledge is revealed to you. Science of God is unveiled. you will understand about Krishna. You will understand the difference between Atma and Sharira. All those esoteric knowledge will be unveiled. And in the sixth step, you will be freed from material attachments because you are already getting attached to spiritual things. So that is why Srila Prabhupada titled one of his books as what? Very famous title.
Path, path
Beyond
of
birth.
perfection.
Signs of self.
Not of perfection.
Higher taste. Higher taste.
Higher taste.
You heard about that book?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Yeah. So why higher taste? If you get a higher taste, then automatically what will happen to your lower taste?
Lower
goes
taste
away.
will work,
It
Prabhu.
will be
The higher taste remains.
Automatically lower taste will vanish. You don't have to separately endeavor to remove your lower taste. You just get the higher taste. So as in the sixth step, you are freed from material attachments. And in the seventh step, doubts of mind are cleansed by Lord's grace. Sometimes many doubts remain in our heart, even when we become devotees. Sometimes we even doubt the efficacy of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I don't know whether you doubt that, but we can say for sure that even though we have been chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for so many years, can we say for sure that we have 100% faith in Hare Krishna Mahamantra? How many of you say that I have 100% faith? Anyone? No one, right? So that means doubts linger in our heart even after years of devotional service. So the doubts are removed by the Lord's grace. And in the eighth step, you become a realized soul and you start seeing Krishna in every step. So this is how Sambhava is perfected. That's what Srila Prabhupada is explaining in this part. Okay. Now we'll go to mantra 14. And mantra 14 is also talking about knowing Sambhudi and Asambhudi. So here Sambhudi means Krishna in this mantra and Asambhudi means material creation. Okay, here Asambhudi doesn't mean the demigods. Here Asambhudi means material creation. So knowing Asambhudi or this material world is also important. So let's look at Shloka Mantra 14. Sambhudhim cha vinasham cha yastad vedo bhayam saha vinashena mrityum tirtva sambhutyamritam ashnute. So what is the translation? One should know perfectly the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna and his transcendental name, form, qualities and pastimes, as well as the temporary material creation with its temporary demigods, men and animals. When one knows these, he surpasses death and the ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it, and in the eternal kingdom of God, he enjoys his eternal life of bliss and knowledge. So what should we know about Asambhudi or material world? So in this mantra, please understand that Asambhudi means the material world. So we need to know a few important things about Asambhudi or the material world. The first important thing is this material world is Martya Loka. There is another Sanskrit word for man, that is Martya. Why is a man termed or known as Martya? What is the meaning of the word Martya? Any idea?
Mortal.
Middle,
Mortal.
marginal.
Yes, Martya means a person who is a mortal, who is prone to death. So that means everybody in this world will die. This world is a world of death. That is why the men are known as Martya and this world is known as Martya Loka. And the second thing you should know about this material world is there are always 6 changes happening in this material world, especially with the material body. The first change is the body takes birth. The second change is the body grows. Third change is the body is maintained for some time. Fourth change is the body procreates. Fifth change is the body experiences dwindling or deterioration. And the sixth change is death. So the body is always undergoing these 6 changes. This is another thing you have to understand about this asambhuti or material world. And the third thing is there are 4 problems in this material world. What are the 4 problems in this material world? Anyone knows?
Birth, death, old age, disease.
Ah, Jani Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age, and disease. And the fourth problem is every living entity has a tendency to control, controllership, or Ishvara Bhava. We all want to control. Srila Prabhupada is saying from Brahma to S, insignificant ant, every living entity wants to control. So that is why God is also known as Sarveshwara. Why he is known as Sarveshwara? We are also Ishwaras in one sense. Why we are known as Ishwaras and why God is known as Sarveshwara?
I
Supreme
can
Court.
control some portion, but
Yeah, we can control certain things. Maybe we can control our dog. Maybe we cannot control our wife or children. But Krishna can control everything. So that is why he is known as Sarveshwara. Sarveshwara. And the fifth problem or fifth thing that you have to understand about this material world is as long as you have this tendency to control, the urge of controlship is there, you will constantly face the sufferings of this material world and you will undergo repeated birth and death. See, if you see any family, the wife will try to control the husband will try to control wife. And this process is going on till the very end of their lives. They think that one day I will control my husband. And the husband thinks that one day I will control my wife. Will it happen any day? What do you think?
no problem.
It will never happen.
Still not possible, Prabhu.
It is impossible. It will never happen. So finally, when a few intelligent people understand that I cannot control my wife or I cannot control my husband, then they will turn their attention to the poor children, kids. They will start controlling the kids. But that is also not possible. Then finally, they are so frustrated, they will buy a dog and control the dog. The poor dog will listen to whatever they say. Then they are happy. But even then, they will not leave their sense of controllership. So, this is the nature of this material world. And Srila Prabhupada, in this sense, context, is also talking about para prakriti and apara prakriti. Para prakriti means the spiritual world and the living entities, jivatmas. And the apara prakriti means the material world. Para prakriti is eternally present. But apara prakriti goes through 3 avyakta states. Avyakta means what?
Not manifested.
Not manifest. Vyakta means manifest. Avyakta means not manifest. So this apara prakriti, this material prakriti, bhaudika prakriti is unmanifest when Brahma goes to sleep. During the night of Brahma, this material prakriti is not manifest. Then the second instance is when Brahma dies, when Prakritika Pralayam comes, that time also this Apara Prakriti is not manifest. And the third instance is when the entire material creation is annihilated, then also this Apara Prakriti is unmanifest. But Para Prakriti is always manifest. It is a superior Prakriti. And here Srila Prabhupada is saying, Sambhutya Amritam Ashnute. That is the aim. We have to transcend death. and attain Amritam, immortality. Here immortality means Krishna. So how do we transcend death and attain Krishna? By the process of Bhakti Yoga. And Srila Prabhupada is saying there are three kinds of transcendentalists. The first kind of transcendentalists are the Karma Yogis. The second type are the Jnanis. And the third type are the Yogis. And the Karma Yogis, they go to heaven or sun or moon planet. The Jnana Yogis, they attain Maharloka, Tapaloka, Brahmaloka, like that, higher planetary systems. The yogis also, most of the times, go to these higher planetary systems. But some yogis who meditate on the Chadurbahu Murti of Lord Vishnu as Paramatma in their heart, with the desire to go to Vaikunta, they will go to Vaikunta. Otherwise, the Karma Yogis will not go to Vaikunta, the Jnana Yogis will not go to Vaikunta, and the Ashtanga Yogis also will not go to Vaikunta. The Ashtanga Yogis and Jnana Yogis, if they want, they can attain something called Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti means gradually they can elevate themselves and reach Vaikunta. That is, first they will go to Maharloka, then they will go to Tapaloka, then they will go to Brahmaloka. Like that, gradually they can elevate. But if you take the case of Bhakti Yogis, they immediately go to Goloka, Vrindavan or Vaikuntha. Why? Because they are directly worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sambhuti, by surrendering to Him. So Srila Prabhupada is concluding that always worship Sambhuti, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by practicing Bhakti Yoga, by surrendering to Him, so that you are immediately elevated to Goloka Vritta. Okay, so with this we conclude mantra 14 as well. And if you have any questions, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have one
Hare
doubt.
Krishna. Yeah.
Like in 9.25, you just quoted one sloka, no, Prabhu, regarding that. You told that all the demigods worship is not equal to worshipping Krishna. So, like my personal question is that, say after every homa, like if Ganesha homa or whatever homa is there, at last they tell that Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu. So how to accept this? How can you please clarify that?
Yeah, of course. Like it is a rule. Like they chant a mantra, Kayena vacha manasendriyeva buddhyatmaneva prakrite swabhavat karomi yadyat sagalam parasmai narayanaya iti samarpayami.
Yes,
so we must have, knowingly or unknowingly, you must have committed so many offenses. So I offer everything unto the lotus feet of Narayana. Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu. So why they do that is unknowingly they are saying that finally everything is controlled by the Lord. It is controlled by the Lord. The bhala is given by the Lord. The demigods cannot give the result of all these yajnas or homas or any rituals. Even though it may be addressed to a particular demigod, the result is ultimately given by Krishna. That is why everything is offered to Krishna. Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu. So they may not actually realize it, but unknowingly by chanting this, they are ascertaining the fact that the results are finally given by the Lord and not by the demigods. It may be given through the medium of demigod, but the result is actually, the boon is actually coming from Krishna. Okay? Do you understand?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for clarifying. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.